start, download my free ebook 10 Tips to Self-Love and Happiness by going on my website sandrineslifestyle.com. You can also join my Instagram family and be part of our live classes at my studio in Kent. Obviously, subscribe to my channel to get more videos, and do not forget to put comment below as we're going to start this journey together. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. Hi, I'm Sandrine, and this is Alice, who's going to help me today. She's going to be my model, and today I'm going to teach you about proper abdominal exercises. We're going to work on my favorite muscle, which is your transverse abdominis. It is your deepest abdominal muscle, and it's a very important one if you suffer from back problem or after a baby with diastasis recti, which is a separation of the abdominal wall, or if you're just weak really on your core. So we're going to be working on that. But first of all, something which is important in Pilates is to teach you neutral position versus imprinting. For years and years and years, we've been teaching people to imprint the lower back down on the floor, which I don't recommend. I mean, I'm all about functional movement, and you've got a neutral position. You need to actually work even lying down with your neutral position. So my neutral position is going to be very different from Alice's neutral position or your neutral position at home. Everybody is very different. So we're going to teach you to find it. You're going to have your fingers on your hip bones. Now from here, before you start any exercises, something which is very important to me is to make sure that your whole body is in the correct position. You're going to have your feet firmly down on the floor, and feet in Pilates are one of the most important parts. You want to make sure they are really active, so they're really activated down on the floor. Feet, it's really important for the whole body. It's the foundation of your body. So you won't build a house on bad foundation, and we abuse our feet all the time, and then we wonder why we have knee problem or hip problem or shoulder problem. It could just come from your feet. So we'll keep the feet down nicely, imprinting down on the floor, and you want your heel in line with your hip bones here and sit bones. So you want to make sure that it's lengthened, so your spine is nice and lengthened. Same with the neck, your cervicals. You want a long neck, and it's like somebody's pulling you from the top, relaxing your shoulders. And shoulder blades, they're just slightly going to the side. They're going down on the floor and slightly going to the side. Your ribs are down. I'm not a big fan of having your ribs up because you're not working to your potential on your abdominals, and that's what we're going to be working on. So now, going back to the neutral position versus imprinting. So we're going to demonstrate now neutral position versus imprinting. So your lower back is going to go down on the floor into your imprinting. So your pubic bone is going up to ceiling. Now we're going to reverse that. So your pubic bone is going down to the floor, and you're arching your lower back. We're going to do a few of them, so a couple of them. Good. And as you're doing that, it's still very important to keep your feet down on the floor without moving your knees at all. It's really a movement that we're working on the pelvis only. Now, we're going to find the neutral position. So the neutral position, you're going to find it between these two extremes. So depending on your neutral position, you're going just to slightly arch your back. That's neutral. Now, we're going to keep the ribs down as well. That's very important for me to keep the ribs down, because the connection with your transverse abdominis muscle, which is your deepest abdominal muscle, like I said earlier, is running from the ribs down to the pubic bone. Same with the superficial one as well, your rectus abdominis. So we need to keep it down, and we need to work it. And to me, it's very important to be working in the right alignment here. Now, what we're going to do an exercise called leg slide. So still working on your lower abdominals, you're going to slide one leg away. So you do have your foot with the floor, on the contact with the floor. You're going to slide it back. As you slide it back, you make the connection with your lower abdominals. Now we're going to slide the other leg away. Beautiful. You slide it back, you connect, you connect, you connect, you connect. So you always want to work on your deepest abdominals muscle. And for me right now, it is your lower abdominals muscle. This is really, really important after having babies, because you want your diastasis recti, if you do have one, to go back together. So your abdominal wall, you really want it to go back together. And I'm not a big believer by doing sit-ups or by doing the plank. It's definitely not going to improve your diastasis recti. It's going to separate it even more. So it's important to go back to what you need to be working on. Now, the next exercise after this one, so still making sure that your body is right. So now, Alice, you can have your arms to the side. We're going to keep the ribs down again. And that's something I see a lot when the ribs start going up. You want to keep them down. This is so important. Again, it's a connection that you're having with your rectus abdominis and your transverse abdominis. You want to shorten the muscle. And that's really important to keep it this way. You're going to relax your shoulders. Whenever you find that your tension is a lot on your shoulders, just bend your elbows slightly, and that's going to release it. You still want to lengthen the back of your neck. So your cervical should really lengthen. Now the next exercise, we're going to fold one knee up to 90 degrees. So ideally you want that knee to be just above your hip joint. This leg is going to reach down, down, down. As you're doing that, you're making sure you're really working on your lower abdominals. And that's very important, because most of the time when your leg's going to go down, you want to start arching your lower back. No, keep it stable. We're going to go to the other side, coming back. So that knee is just right, just above your hip, and reaching back down. Now, Tom, if you're not quite sure and if you don't know if your pelvis is rocking, have your fingers again. So let's go again to this one, Alice. You're going to have your fingers on your hip bones, and we're going to do the same movement, making sure that you really activate your lower abdominals. So often what I would say is, when you're landing your foot, imagine you're landing your foot on marshmallow. So you're not pressing completely. It's really a small movement, but it's really working from your lower abdominals, keeping the ribs down. This is a simple exercise and it looks really easy, but it's much harder to find. And especially when you're beginner, at first you're like, what am I doing? Well, actually, as you get better and better, you're going to understand, whoa, that's your deepest abdominals muscle, and that's what we're after at the moment anyway. Good, that's really good. Now, what I want to teach you is the sliding the leg as well, but instead of having your foot down on the floor, we're going to go slightly higher. We're going to go slightly above, and we're going to slide it, slide it, slide it. Now, bring it back here, yes. Pull, 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 reach down, marshmallow, and we swap side. So you don't want your pelvis to be rocking. You want to make sure that your hips are firmly at the same level. And Alice doing a beautiful job, obviously. That's really good. And we swap side. This exercise is a bit more advanced. So if you're completely beginner, take your time. Remember, we're all different as well, and we all come with different level. Good. And come back. That's beautiful. And relax. That's really good. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to ask Alice to open the knee to the side slightly. It's very important to keep the contact on your hip here. So you're not going to collapse your legs down. We're not doing that. Thank you. We're still making sure that we're connecting here, and there is no movement at all on the pelvis. So as you bring it back, imagine that you've got a string attached to your kneecap, to your opposite hip, and you really want to pull it back, pull it back, pull it back, using your lower abdominals. Then we're going to perform the same exercise on that side. That's good. And bring it back, really working on your abdominals. And again, it's really nicely on your lower abdominals, and that's going to protect your lower back. That's your core set, and it's why we call, I mean, obviously Pilates, it's all about core, but I mean, to me, the pelvis, it's so important, especially for women. It's really important. It's where you've got your period, it's where you've got your babies, you've got menopause, everything is here, and most of the injury as well occur here. So it's very important that you make sure you get strong here. And relax, relaxing your shoulders completely, and well done. So that was your first part for beginner exercises on abdominals exercise after having a baby for diastasis recti or back problem if you do have one, or if you've got weak abdominals. So now try to do that every day. You see, it does not take long to do it, but more you do it and better you'll get. Hey, it's us again, and now we're going to be working on your core part 2. Part 2, it's a bit more advanced than just your beginner exercise that we've just done previously. You're going to have your both of your hands behind your neck. Alright guys, I'll see it all the time. I see it at the gym, I see it anywhere. Sit-ups. I'm sick of it. That's the way I hurt my neck. It's so important that you understand how your body works, and that's what we're going to do now. You're going to come up using your abdominals. Remember, it's purely your abdominals. Previously, I was telling you how your rectus abdominis, such as your transverse abdominis, they run from the ribs down to the pubic bone. So you do not need to pull into your neck. There is no abdominals there at all. So I've got no idea why I still see people doing that. You're only going to hurt your cervicals. Why? No idea. And it does not make you better at all. You're not stronger for it. So let me show you how we do it here. You're going to extend, you're going to bring your elbows to the side even more, and you're going to slide the ribs down to your pubic bone. So come up, very slowly, stop here. That's it. That's the starting position. So as you can see, we're contracting the abdominals. I'm not a big believer of going back and forward and back and forward. What you're doing is you're just letting go of your abdominals, and then it's contracting again and letting go again. Why? I've got no idea. I want constant contraction. So from here, we're really making sure we keep the ribs down. So the main thing is keep your shoulders slightly away from the mat. And we're going to slide one leg away. No, it's not. Is it? I can't remember what I said. No, come back. Say, well, cut it. Fucking cut now.
Is it a knee fold?
Yeah. And now squeeze from here. Good. We're going to bring one knee up to 90 degrees. So just by doing that, you're really working harder on your lower abdominals and reaching down very slowly. Now, it's very important to make sure you're slightly imprinting your lower back just to protect your lower back. I do not want your lower back to start arching. When it does, it's because we're taking it to a next level and you're not ready for it. So let's get ready, let's get stronger here, and then we can do some fun exercises and much advanced one. Good, so one leg at a time. Excellent. And reach back down. Good, and you can unroll your spine down. That's beautiful, that's great. So the next one, you're going to come back up, so it's a bit more advanced now, and stay here. Now I'm going to ask Alice to have both of the knees tabletop. Whenever we're working with both legs up, which is called open chain, I make sure you're imprinting the lower back down, because I do not want you to start arching your back. Now on this one, we're going to tap the toes down, so one at a time going down, but we're maintaining that neutral connection here. We're making sure we're keeping the shoulders, she's not smiling really, the shoulders off the mat. That's a beautiful exercise. And you can see that her stomach is completely flat. If you see that your stomach's coming up to a dome, we're not in the right angle. And very often, it's your pelvis. Your pelvis should never be moving when you're performing abdominal exercises. So it's why I'm not a big believer of going forward and backward and forward and backward. You're only going to injure yourself. Just hold it, and that's much harder. And it's why at home you don't want to do it. You want it fast and you want to do 100 of them, but they're not proper. You want to make sure you're really targeting the right muscle. And come back, yes, and reach down. She probably think I speak too much now, yeah? The next one, let's go to our proper abdominal exercise, which is called the single leg stretch in Pilates. So we're going to come up, but we're going to keep the arms back. And you can notice that Alice performing that exercise very well. Your elbows are back. They're not here. They should be at the same level as your ears. And that's very important. And keep the ribs down here. That's beautiful. Now we're going to slide one leg away. Good, that's it. And we swap the legs, sorry. Good, and reach again and extend and back. Extend and back. Beautiful. So now it's all depending on your level. I will stay high, so you're reaching high, like Alice performing very well. But then, if you're a bit more advanced, we're reaching lower and back. And lower and back and lower. She's loving it. And back. How many do you want? Do you want 50 back home? Yeah? Yeah? Is it what you want? Sorry, Alice. Yes. We need to go for a 50 now. And reach and come back and then roll. We're going down and relax. Well done. So that's a bit more advanced. But did you see that it was perfect? And the main thing is you should not see any movement on the pelvis. When you're actually working on abdominals, there is no movement on your pelvis. We need to get stronger. It's not about momentum at all to get stronger. And especially after having a baby, after back problem, you need to look after it properly. So here we go, and we'll see you soon.